The word pipeline probably evokes more a big tube carrying oil or water or maybe gas throughout the barren landscape of Alaska or the Middle East. But in this case, we're not talking about this type of pipeline. We're talking about data pipeline. Now, data pipeline are an absolutely important component of the data science infrastructure, just like the regular pipeline is an absolutely important piece of the infrastructure of moving fluids around. And it's because we do so much transformation to the data that it's very easy to become confused about what transformation to do and in what step. And to make things worse, we do those transformations over and over again. We do it for our training set, we do it for our test set, and then we do it whenever we want to predict a value from an unknown. So the solution to this is to have a system that basically offers a streamlined analysis of your data. And that's what a pipeline is all about. And Scikit-Learn is a library that really is useful for pipeline design in Python. So let's look at what a pipeline is and how we use it. So the building block of a pipeline is a single transformer. Think of a single transformer as a piece of code that essentially takes a NumPy array as an input and then does transformation on that NumPy array, and that can be any type of numerical transformation on the array. And importantly, that transformer will output a new transform NumPy array. And because these transformers take NumPy array as input and output a NumPy array, they can be chained together so that you can pass data that is transformed from one state to a final state. So a very common application of data pipeline is in data preparation. So if you have a NumPy array that you want to prepare, often you would basically start by things like dropping columns that you don't use. So you drop features that you don't want to use from a data set. And then, of course, you have a new NumPy array that does not have those features that are not desirable. And then your next step in the data pipeline is to do missing values imputation. In other words, take care of those NaNs or not a number values. And then, of course, you output a new transform NumPy array that goes into a feature scaling, for instance, where you're going to do normalization or standardization. And then the data is normalized or standardized, and it is then ready for machine learning applications. But the beauty of pipeline is you don't have to stop at the data preparation process. You can actually create a pipeline that goes from gathering your data, transforming your data, all the way to machine learning applications. And often these three steps, drop column, missing value imputation, and feature scaling, are grouped together into what is known as a column transformer. And then to the column transformer, we can add some new step of preparation. So we can add, for instance, the creation of binary columns, so creating new binary columns before we go through the column transformers. And of course, at the end, we can do the machine learning algorithm itself. And then this two added step can be grouped together into what is known as a pipeline. Now in Scikit-Learn, one of the beauty of the pipeline design is that once you've created your pipeline, you can use it for two purposes. Either you want to train a pipeline, and that is known as fitting the pipeline, or you want to use the pipeline to predict a value. So if you want to fit your pipeline, what you do is you use the command pipeline fit. And then you input data and it goes through your pipeline. And at the end, what you obtain is a fitted pipeline. And this pipeline is ready for you to deploy. So for instance, you could fit a pipeline on your training set, and then you could then deploy that pipeline. And deploying that pipeline means to predict something. So for instance, if you've fitted your pipeline on your training set, now you can use the same pipeline that is fitted to see how well you predict the value of your test set. So you would input the data, so that could be your test set. It goes through the same transformation, but in the end you obtain a prediction. And of course, then you can compare this prediction to the true value, and that gives you a sense of how well your whole machine learning pipeline is performing, including the training of your algorithm. And the real beauty and power of the pipeline system is that once you've built it, you will never miss a step because you will apply exactly the same transformation to your training set, to your test set, or to any value that you will then predict in the future based on the fully trained algorithm. And this is why pipeline is such an important concept in data science and machine learning.